Welcome back, all you Iced GT gamers. This is Iced GT coming to you live from Southern California. In today's Anthem video, we are going to be talking about the Paris Games Week Livestream event, specifically on the feedback from the community and the feedback from the devs. In addition, we're also going to be talking about some changes that are upcoming in regards to community management, as well as a dev tracker update from all of the tweets that came out this week. Let's go ahead and get right into it. At the Paris Games Week Livestream event, there were a number of bugs that were noticed that the community pointed out and had concerns as to whether or not the game was going to be ready in time, given that we're only a couple of months out from its release date. However, the devs were quick to point out that not only was this an early alpha build, the game has only been in alpha for about a month, but also that they had to go back to an older build than what they even currently have just to get something to throw together to be able to put up for the live stream. They didn't want to try to showcase the problems with the game. They wanted to give the community something at all. And this is something that the community has been clamoring for, and I find it rather ironic that they have been browbeating the devs to show more gameplay, and we get 20 minutes worth of new gameplay footage, and the same people turn around and say that it looks like crap. And the devs had a lot to say in return to that. First off, Michael Gamble said, "There will be bugs in live streams." In caps, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is the truth about an alpha build, especially this early on in the development after the game has only been in alpha for a month. Next up, somebody commented that the ultimate ability for the Storm seemed to have a hint that was constantly displayed on the screen. And Jonathan Warner responded by saying that yes, that was definitely a bug. Another person commented that the level of the graphics seemed a little on the low side. And Mark Dara responded by saying that the graphics settings were set to low by mistake during the stream. Another person pointed out that the Storm's cloak wasn't flowing like it was supposed to, and it appeared broken. Another dev confirmed that this has actually been fixed in a later build, but it was broken during the stream. Other people commented that the content seemed a little bit too easy, and was this going to be an accurate representation of what we were going to be seeing when the game goes live? And Mark Dara responded that the difficulty was likely set to the easiest setting. Other people had comments in regards to actual mission elements, such as the floaty gates and waypoints that you see as you're progressing through the mission. Wanted to know if those could be disabled because they felt it was a distraction to the overall environment. Jonathan Warner responded by saying that the gates were specific to that mission, can't be disabled, and were actually Owen, your cipher, projecting the images of the waypoints into your mind. So it's actually part of the lore in the world of Anthem. Another person commented that the Interceptor Ultimate appears to make it out to be as the weakest of the javelins because it is melee only. Mark Dara responded by saying that the Interceptor Javelin is certainly not the weakest. In a follow-up question, the Interceptor Ultimate was asked as to whether it was going to be effective against bosses, since it seemed rather situational. Mark Dara responded that it is very effective against bosses. Finally, somebody asked about the domes that were seen at a couple of different places in the live stream. I've got a screenshot of one of those here. Mark Dara pointed out that those are temporary markers for landmarks, which means that this is likely something specifically left in just for the alpha build because they're going to be putting either quest start points or loot chests or hidden items in that location. And I, for one, will definitely be keeping track of where that is in the hopes that that location is the same when the game actually goes live, so I can hopefully find whatever it is that's hidden there. Also, in a follow-up tweet, Mark Dara responded that the person who caught it had an impressive eye. So this means that they were not expecting people to point it out as something out of the ordinary. On to the community change. There was a tweet that got sent out by Jesse Anderson, who is an EA community manager, and has officially signed on as the manager for the Anthem game community. It'll be interesting to see how he takes the reins and moves the project forward, especially in regards to marketing and the ramp up in the coming months before the game goes live next year. On into our dev corner. I'm going to start with the questions that were asked of Jonathan Warner. The first question is, if I'm in a group and I head into Fort Tarsis, will I still be in the group when I come back out? The response was, you will still be in the squad. Next up, somebody asked whether or not the UI that they saw in the stream will be customizable. Warner responded, the UI shown is still a work in progress, but certain elements will be tweakable. Next, character creation? Are they going to have options for different ethnicities and hairstyles? And the answer was yes. Next up, will the ARM gear slot for the Storm Javelin be able to include other elements besides the icicles that were being shown during the live stream? Jonathan Warner's answer was yes, it will. Finally, somebody mentioned that they were hoping to see the Interceptor as a true recon unit, but with the Ultimate forcing it into a close quarters role, they were wondering if that was truly going to be possible. Warner's response was, you can still run recon, but it's going to be more of a force recon role than a light recon one. Next up, we had a single tweet from Michael Gamble. He was talking about how Emily Taylor, one of the other developers, was testing one of the quests and had to pause for a moment to admire the view because it is such a gorgeous world even with the graphics settings not set at max. And Michael Gamble retweeted this, reiterating, not at max. So it's good to see that the game looks good even on average graphics settings. Next on to the Mark Dara questions. Mark Dara was asked, is it possible to give your javelins a worn or a wear and tear look? Mark Dara responded that yes, that is one of the skins that are going to be available for your javelin. Next up, he was asked, is there going to be a dragon blood skin? And he responded, probably, but we haven't made it yet. Now this ties into a lot of speculation as to what other BioWare or even EA property skins are going to be available for this game at launch, or potentially in the future. I, for one, hope to see an Iron Man skin if they're able to negotiate with Disney and get something along those lines. I would love to see a Ranger Javelin decked out in the red and gold. Next, he was asked, is Anthem region locked on the PC? And Mark Dara responded by saying that no, I don't think so. This means that it doesn't matter whether you're on the West Coast, East Coast, London, Paris, Australia, you are all going to be seeing the same content no matter where you are in the world. I think that's kind of awesome. This ties into their concept of world events and how if there's going to be a random world event, it's going to be witnessed by everybody on the server all at the same time, and you're all going to be able to comment about it when you go in to work or talk with your friends the next day. Next up, somebody asked whether accessories such as a top hat on the head or a massive cloak for the Ranger or possibly even wings were going to be something that were going to be available. Dara responded that no, not at launch at least, which means that there's a potential for that in the future, and I would love to see the ability to attach things to your Javelin and really customize it in ways that other games don't allow you to customize your avatar. A companion question to this, though, is that somebody asked whether heavy character customization, such as in Mass Effect, is going to be available, or whether it's just going to be some basic facial presets. Mark Dara responded that pilot customization is going to be more limited as they put all of the effort into the customization capabilities of the Javelin. One final thing before I close out the video, somebody did tweet out a photo of a jack-o'-lantern that had been decked out in Grabbit attire, and they titled it Grabbit-O-ween. This was retweeted by one of the devs. I thought it was funny and wanted to point it out to you guys. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video. If you liked this content and you want to hear more, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. If you disliked the content, feel free to hit that dislike down below. Leave any comments, good or bad. Love to hear your feedback, positive or negative. Until next time, this is Iced GT signing off. Have yourself a great night.